yeah, they're obviously ducking. You know, I don't think it's it's very obvious that they don't want to fight. In my eyes, it's like you want to keep getting better and you want to keep sort of leveling up and prove you're the best. But these guys see it other ways.
I really want those belts. I want those accolades. So that's the only thing I want right now. I'm not thinking about Opetaia. I'm not thinking about none of these guys, because this is a fight I want, and it makes sense for both of us. But I mean, if it comes to the worst case scenario, it's funny too, because we don't even know about Joe Opetaia now. I don't know what's going on with Zuf.
Jai Opetaia exploded at David Benavidez, accusing him of avoiding the fight as tensions suddenly intensified behind the scenes. Jai Opetaia recently turned the heat up on David Benavidez, weaponizing the Mexican monster's own words in a bold provocation aimed at forcing a high-stakes showdown.
My thing that I'm mad about is, right, if you guys think you're the best in the world, why don't you fight the other best in the world and show the people, like, what the f, you guys are getting a lot of money, like, what's the problem?
Hey, they're talking about the best, this and that. I don't f***ing talk about it, boys. I'm right here. The winner out of Zerdo and Benavidez. Let's go.
While Opetaia isn't currently a priority, Benavidez admitted the fans could sway his decision. He emphasized that his career is driven by two goals: serving the audience and unifying the biggest titles in his division.
From what I hear, my people and their people, they're really hard. They don't like to work with each other. So, but, if that's what the people want, I'm here to cater to the people. So if we can't get the fight with Bivol and the people want the fight with Joe Opetaia, that's what we're gonna make.
Opetaia fired back, questioning the delay for a clash he considers long overdue. Stripping away the excuses, he insisted that with the timing and location finally aligned, there is no better moment for a definitive matchup.
A lot of talk. You know what I mean? We've had that fight ready to go for a long time. I've never badmouthed no one, never disrespected no one. I don't talk. But if I'm that easy, bro, why hasn't the fight happened? You know what I mean? We're here, we're ready. Take care of business and we can sort it out. We can chase undisputed.
Addressing the situation, David Benavidez welcomed the cruiserweight opportunity before admitting outside complications could delay a future fight with Jai Opetaia.
David, do you view this as a fight for the legit cruiserweight title, or is Jai Opetaia lineal, or do you see it as this fight is because it's for two belts?
I mean, I think it's definitely legit because he has two world titles. I mean, it doesn't really matter if Jai Opetaia has another one. He has two legit titles right there. So I think so. It's a legit fight. It's a legit, title shot, and I'm gonna be very happy once I capture those two titles.
Are you looking to settle in at cruiserweight and look at Opetaia next, or get back to the light heavyweight division, fight Bivol, fight Beterbiev?
Well, I'm just taking every fight one fight at a time. There's a lot of stuff I like to do, but a lot of people sometimes they're not ready to fight or this and that. Jai Opetaia just signed with Zuffa Boxing, so that's another roadblock for that fight too.
Dismissing the Zuffa talk as a mere distraction, Opetaia assured David that the path is clear. He added that the only thing standing in the way of an early showdown is Benavidez's own willingness to sign the contract.
I saw David Benavidez, he said that you signing with Zuffa is a roadblock to y'all possibly fighting. Do you feel that way?
Why would that happen? Why?
I don't know, that's just how he feels. He was like, well, I don't know if Zuffa's gonna work with us or whatever, so.
100%, why wouldn't they? That would be so silly not to. That's the biggest, if he wins this fight and we have a unification fight, why would anyone not have that on? Right. Why would any promoter, the only reason they wouldn't have it on is if promoters were like, no, I'm doing it, no, I'm doing it. And they lose track of what the most important thing is, and that's a unification
That can
fight.
happen though.
Downplaying the rivalry, Jose Benavidez argued that Opetaia isn't a big enough draw yet, insisting that David is focused on the money fights against better-known rivals that his fans expect.
So it's like what he wants, I want this, I want that, he's mad because Zurdo didn't fight him. He's mad because we're not fighting him. Shit, at one point we were like that. We wanted to fight everybody, but it just takes time, You gotta really, for example, I'm gonna ask the viewers, would you rather see David fight Zurdo or Opetaia? If you ask a Mexican fighter, they don't know who Opetaia is. He still needs to develop a little bit more and grow his fan base. Does it make sense? So if we were fighting Opetaia, people would be complaining. We're fighting a nobody, about somebody that is not known. the boxing world knows who he is, you know, because at the end of the day, for Mexicans know Opetaia. So what do you think is a better fight, Opetaia or Zurdo?
The escalating tension between Jai Opetaia and David Benavidez sent the boxing world into a frenzy, with insiders and analysts now coming from all directions to break down who wins this clash. Responding to the hype, Jai Opetaia welcomed a fight with David Benavidez and praised his experience and reputation. Opetaia made it clear he would not rush his journey for money or outside pressure, staying fully focused on becoming undisputed before seriously considering a move to heavyweight.
He told me he wants Benavidez to come up to cruiserweight and we fight Benavidez. If that's the course, let's do it. You know what I mean? I'm pumped for that. Respectfully, I'd love to fight Benavidez. He's a great fighter. He's got a great following. You know, he's mixed. He's been in the ring with some great fighters. And then once we tick that box, who knows? Maybe the heavyweight chapter starts then. But I'm not rushing my journey for anyone else. You know what I mean? I've had a dream to become undisputed my whole life, and that's what I'm going to become.
So heavyweight, that'll stay delayed until undisputed is achieved.
Heavyweight will happen when I say it's ready. Not when people want to throw it in my face, and I'm not chasing the money. You know, we're chasing the dream. The money will come.
Talking about the matchup, David Benavidez called it one of the biggest fights in the world and said he still wants it next. Benavidez insisted he isn't scared of anyone and blamed promotional issues for the delay. David respected Jai Opetaia, but said the fight would need different conditions to get made.
I mean, I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division. You know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody. This is Monstro's world. And if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zuffa. We could have made this fight right after this one, you know, but now I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not going to go over there and fight for a Zuffa title, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future, and I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter, and I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen, because you know, we can't make no fights in Zuffa.
Breaking it down, Teddy Atlas leaned toward David Benavidez, pointing to his speed and explosive burst as the key difference. Atlas believed Benavidez could shift gears instantly and overwhelm opponents once exchanges opened up.
The reason why, and the biggest reasons why I gave Benavidez an advantage to just win the fight, forget about that he was going to stop him, but his hands are faster, he's more explosive, and he's got that ability to fight and burst. He is a guy, I think the secret's out. I don't think everyone knew that this is a guy who is explosive and burst. The way that, you know, you might be in a certain part of the country that is prone to cloud bursts of rain. Like in the middle of the day, all of a sudden, boom, there's a burst of torrential rain.
From a technical standpoint, Atlas broke down Benavidez's skills and instinct for timing. Atlas emphasized his ability to burst into combinations and freeze opponents, creating clean openings for precise follow-up shots.
With his hand speed, with power, and just his knack, his instinctual knack to know when to explode. And what he added to it was the intellect. I loved it. I don't know if everyone noticed it, but not only with the pure ability that pop, 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 he opens up with that splash of punches, that flurry of punches, but not only that, then after he does it, pop, 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 all of a sudden, while he's got the guy, you know, in his shell, when he's got the guy a little blitzed, you know, a little shell-shocked, then he places one, boom, boom, boom.
Giving his prediction, Tim Bradley backed David Benavidez to beat Jai Opetaia, believing relentless pressure could pull Jai out of his comfort zone. Bradley respected Opetaia's movement and boxing, but felt Benavidez would eventually force a grueling fight that changed the entire pace.
Benavidez beats Bivol. David Benavidez beat Jai Opetaia. Yeah, he beat Opetaia. Oh, I'ma double down. He gonna beat Opetaia. I double down on that one. He gonna beat Opetaia. See, Opetaia got good feet. Yeah, he can box, but he can be drugged into a fight. And if you know anything about David Benavidez, just like he did with Ramirez ass, he's the one of those guys that's gonna test your heart. He gonna test what you have in here. And once he go to Ja's ass and he tests what he has in here, Ja gonna lose his shit. Ja ain't gonna be boxing and moving around. Ja gonna be looking to fight. Ja gonna get tired too. Yeah, because Ja, if you look at the history of Ja Opetaia, he get tired.
Continuing his take, Bradley dismissed predictions favoring Opetaia over David Benavidez, arguing Benavidez' pressure breaks through almost any style. Bradley believed Jai's movement and boxing would eventually be overwhelmed once the fight became physical and demanding.
Ja Opetaia versus Benavidez, and you know, people giving their opinion, talking about Ja Opetaia gonna beat Benavidez. Nope, I'm here to let y'all know he ain't gonna beat no damn Benavidez. Damn, Ja Opetaia couldn't even get this dude up out of there. Come on now. Benavidez would have served Buddy, man. What his name, Glanton? He would have served Glanton. He would have stopped him. Yeah, I understand the styles make fights. I get that. However, shit. Man, Benavidez' style break through anything. Break through any style. Shit, he been in the ring with boxers. Shit, he was in there with Morel that can punch, that can box. Southpaw, just like Ja Morant. Just like Ja. Did I say Ja Morant? I'm thinking about Ja, the basketball player. I'm tripping. But yeah, Ja Opetaia.
Looking at it from a stylistic angle, Zurdo Ramirez highlighted David Benavidez' relentless pressure and high-volume punching as the key threat in the matchup. Ramirez explained that his steady output and accuracy slowly wear opponents down as the rounds progress. Zurdo believed that kind of pace became a major problem in the later rounds.
Fight for undisputed, like, what was your reaction to the news, and are you worried that that fight maybe might not happen?
No, I'm not worried, but I mean the fight. If the fighting one happen, it will happen for sure. Yeah.
They have put out, you know, that he believes he's the best cruiserweight in the world. What's your argument? Why do you feel you're the best cruiserweight in the world? Why is Ja Opetaia not the best cruiserweight in the world?
Why not? Because Zurdo is there. I'm the best cruiserweight champion, and I mean he's been doing well in his whole career. He's been fighting long time in this division, but I think he needs to be fighting with different guys, better guys.
Is David, you feel, a harder fight than Jai because of the styles?
Yeah, no? I think it's super hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, that fight.
Why do you feel it could be harder than a fight with Opetaia, in your opinion?
Oh, because Opetaia, he moved, he takes some chance, and David Benavidez, he's pushing, he's going forward all the time, he never gets tired, and I mean he has a lot of combination, a lot of volume of punching. Yeah.
When you look at like the fight style wise with David, like a lot of times David wears down his opponents because he's just throwing and he's accurate with his punches, where you get to rounds 8, 9, 10 and they can't, no aguantan, the opponents can't take it anymore. When you look at that, do you feel that pace is a challenge?
I mean, he has a good pace. He has a good pace, and for sure he's a really good challenge.
Stepping into the bigger picture, Roy Jones Jr. shifted the focus to business decisions in boxing, stressing timing and legacy over emotion. Jones argued Benavidez should prioritize a heavyweight move for bigger history-making opportunities instead of taking riskier fights right now. Roy warned that one wrong move could shut off future legacy fights entirely.
Since everybody's making these business decisions, Dre, and everybody's doing things the business way, right? It is not smart for David Benavidez to give Ja Opetaia a shot at his name right now because he's hot right now. You go up and fight Usyk while you're hot, and it makes sense. You can always come back down and fight Opetaia if you want to. You understand? If you lost to Usyk, Opetaia fight's still there. If you lose to Opetaia, the Usyk fight gone. So be smart about this thing. Go take Usyk while the iron is hot. You beat Usyk, you don't know how to see Opetaia unless he want to come to heavyweight. But if you go fight Opetaia and lose, you don't get a chance to see Usyk, and you don't get a chance to make history. That's crazy. You're on a rail right now to do something that nobody ever done before. I went middleweight, super middleweight, light heavy, because I was doing what Bob Fitzsimmons, well, I thought what Bob Fitzsimmons did.
Continuing his argument, Jones Jr. urged fighters to make smart timing decisions, stressing that opportunities should be taken when they peak. Jones advised preferring proven, high-value opponents over less impactful matchups, especially when bigger legacy fights are available. Roy also questioned the depth of star power at cruiserweight historically.
And don't let them play with you. And that's my words to David Benavidez, because I know he listens to me. He looks up to me, thinks a lot of me. I'm going to tell him it's okay to say, no, Opetaia, you haven't proven yourself right now. I want somebody who's proven like I am. I want Usyk. That's what he should do, without a question.
Listen, Opetaia has proven himself, but he's not the name. He's not the name as an Usyk, not as big money.
So who's he beat?
We gonna do that
Who's he really beat?
day. He's been at the weight class, at that cruiserweight weight class. You know, it's not a lot of big names. It's not a lot of big names at that cruiserweight weight class. Am I making that up? Has it historically been big names at the cruiserweight weight class?
No, that's why I skipped.
Breaking down the matchup, Jose Benavidez questioned whether Jai Opetaia had enough experience at the elite level, suggesting he had already been hurt in fights against lesser-known opposition. Benavidez compared him to past rising prospects, arguing that development still needed time before peak form. Jose ultimately believed David held the deeper, more proven experience advantage.
Opetaia, I think he gets hurt every fight he fights. He gets hurt with fighters that are not even known. I think he needs a little bit more experience, and I'm gonna say the same thing like David Morrell. Everybody said that he was the next big thing and that he was gonna make David look like an amateur, this and that. You know, he doesn't have the experience that David has. I think he is gonna be better in about 3-4 years more. You know, I think he's lacking off experience a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. He is gonna be a great fighter, but right now he doesn't have the experience that David has. You know, I see Dmitry Bivol and Ramirez more dangerous than Opetaia.
Furthermore, Chris Algieri said the audience believed Benavidez ducked Jai Opetaia after ignoring his calls all week. Algieri said, David Benavidez says, I'm not going to Zuffa. Well, Jai Opetaia has been calling him out all weekend. Some people are saying that a little bit of a quiet duck by David Benavidez. Is this fight actually going to happen? Can it actually happen? If it did happen, how would it look? Before the fight with Ramirez over the weekend, I don't think David Benavidez really had a chance against Jai Opetaia. Well, however, in the light of his recent performance, Algieri seemed confident that Benavidez could come out as the winner if the clash ever happened. He further added, now the way that I saw him at cruiserweight, I don't know. He might be the favorite going into the fight against Jai Opetaia, but we'll see if this fight is to come to fruition or not, but stay tuned. Giving his take, Coach Breadman expressed mixed confidence in the matchup, admitting Jai Opetaia's size, speed, and explosiveness make him a difficult puzzle. Breadman sided toward David Benavidez overall, but acknowledged the danger, pointing out that while David has solid defense, he is not untouchable in exchanges.
I'm not as sure if he beat Opetaia because he's such a big guy and he's explosive. But I'm more comfortable picking David to beat him. The one guy that I think will give David some real trouble is Usyk at heavyweight. I don't know if he can beat Usyk, but the rest of the guys, I think he can beat him.
Okay, yeah, because Opetaia said that he'll see him soon. Congratulations, champ. People have been talking about that matchup because he is a full, cruiserweight that's athletic. What do you, when you look at that matchup and you see that, yeah, I think David will beat him. But when you say I think, what makes you think that it cannot happen?
Well, Opetaia is big, fast, and explosive. And David has good defense, but he's not unhittable.
Getting into the details, Coach Breadman highlighted Jai Opetaia's speed, explosiveness, and southpaw angles as traits that could trouble David Benavidez. He pointed to Jai's athletic timing as a real factor in close exchanges. Still, Breadman backed David's experience and ring IQ to gradually take control, adding that one mistake could swing everything once the tempo rises.
Opetaia, I didn't think Zurdo could do anything with David because he's just too slow getting off, man. You know what I mean? Like, everything is not about speed, man, but when the speed difference is that big, you gotta have some kind of like masterful timing or jab or something to offset that. He's just too slow. Opetaia not slow like that. He's twitchy, he's fast, and he's explosive. And David gonna have to be careful. That ball hits you with a left hand, he can knock you out. And he's a southpaw, so he'll have some built-in advantages. He's just it's not a skill thing. He's a different level athlete than what El Zurdo is. And he's young, and he's mean, and He's going to be fighting hard.
Responding to the ongoing debate, Shakur Stevenson dismissed claims that Zuffa Boxing was blocking the fight, insisting promotional politics weren't the real issue. Shakur suggested Turkey's influence had already surpassed Zuffa in shaping major matchups. When it came to predictions, Stevenson ultimately sided with David Benavidez, backing him as the stronger fighter on paper.
And say that that's one of the fights that he wants, but he doesn't see it happening just because it's on the Zuffa.
I don't agree with that.
What you mean?
I don't think like him signing with Zuffa should stop the fight. I think we had a point in boxing where Turkey,
yeah, they can fight on the Turk card,
is the man, and I feel like Turkey is ahead of the Zuffa thing. So I don't feel like Benavidez done fought on Turkey cards already. So it ain't nothing really stopping that fight from happening. So
stylistically, how you see that fight going?
I got Benavidez.
Still?
Yeah. I think Benavidez is a beast. I think you're gonna have to be on an elite level to even be in the ring with him.
This your chance to on Benavidez because he was throwing shade at you a little bit.
I mean, I think that's what social media make it.
Adding to the discussion, Peter Bedell praised David Benavidez's explosive hand speed and dominant performance at the higher weight, describing the win over Ramirez as total destruction. Bedell admitted that, based on that showing, he finds it hard to back Jai Opetaia in a matchup, even while hoping the Australian succeeds. He added that Benavidez's power and pace looked like they carried cleanly into the new division.
Oh my goodness. What a fighter. I mean, that hand speed for a guy that big, that was machine gun stuff. It was unbelievable. I was blown away. I mean, he didn't just beat Ramirez, he annihilated him. It was a massacre. And I really think right now, if I'm setting a betting market, I don't think Jai Opetaia beats Benavidez on that performance. I'd love to see Jai win because we're Aussies. We want to see the Aussie win. And Jai is a magnificent cruiserweight. But gee, what I saw of Benavidez, the step up in weight didn't bother him at all.
Adding on, Connor Wallace pointed out the significance of the moment, noting the weight of the Cinco de Mayo spotlight and the magnitude of Benavidez's rise through divisions. Wallace believed David would handle Ramirez, but called a fight with Jai Opetaia a massive step up in every physical sense. Connor highlighted the size jump as a major concern, warning that Opetaia's power would be immediately noticeable in exchanges.
Cinco de Mayo, it's going to be a massive thing for Mexico and stuff, you know what I mean? But I feel like Benavidez beats Ramirez, but it's a massive step up for Benavidez to fight Jai, you know what I mean? Obviously, I feel like he would give Jai a harder fight than Ramirez would, but man, it's a huge jump. You know, he used to be a super middleweight, to light heavyweight, up to cruiserweight. It's not like you're jumping from like super welterweight to middleweight, you know what I mean? It's a huge, 15 kilos, 16 kilos. It's massive. You know, and he's not the leanest or strongest. Yes, he's very fast. Benavidez is very fast, but I feel like whenever Jai hits him, he'll know about it.
The debate stays split, but most voices still back David Benavidez as the stronger overall fighter in these matchups. His pressure, explosiveness, and experience across weight classes keep coming up as key advantages. Jai Opetaia brings speed, athleticism, and real danger, especially with the size and style contrast. Still, many believe David's consistency and ring IQ give him the edge when things get tough. The only real question is how he handles that step up in competition. Like, subscribe, and comment down your prediction below.